social happenings of the time in the 70s let this place happen. It let it be.
So we looked at the maps of the islands and we saw that Kauai had a road that did not go around, and at the end of the road there was a trail, and that was exactly where we wanted to be.
I originally came to Hawaii in 1969 as a writer and photographer for the Sierra Club. I was working for a magazine that no longer exists now, the Sierra Club Bulletin. David Brower was the editor. And David was fired shortly after I arrived in Hawaii, and here I was in Hawaii. I'd done a few assignments and no job. So since then I've done, like many people in Hawaii, just about anything I could to stay here. The project really started back in the 70s when I made the original black and white photos, 120, 140 exhibition type photos. Probably the biggest challenge was gaining the trust of the subjects. And it was the challenge I had right from the beginning when I started doing the black and whites. I was living with Howard Mara Taylor across the bay from Taylor Camp. I never was a resident of Taylor Camp, and I guess I really wasn't a hippie. I was working at the community college as a photography teacher, and I just thought, oh, this is a fabulous subject. And I walked into Taylor Camp with my camera and tripod, and people just disappeared. They were very distrustful. One young woman there, Debbie Green, came out of her house and just asked me what I was doing, and I told her I was working on a historic project with the Kauai Historic Society, and I really thought Taylor Camp was important historically. She invited me in, and I photographed her and her sister and her boyfriend and the family, and came back the next weekend with prints. The neighbors came over, and within a couple of weeks I was keeping an appointment book.
Well, I think it's fine building jumbo planes or taking a ride on a cosmic train. Switch on summer from a slot machine. You can get what you want, or if you want, you can get anything.
Over the years, people kept coming back to me and saying, can we have a picture of us in the treehouse, or, you know, with the baby? I was glad to do it, but it was a lot of trouble. Then I started this Bhutan film project with Bob Stone and Tom Vedetti on Maui. On one of my trips, I brought this box of black and white prints. So I started showing them these photos, and they just went.
Well, you roll on roads over fresh green grass.
30 years later, when we decided to get into the film project, we had to go through the building up trust all over again. They had concerns about, maybe some concerns about nudity, or some concerns about drugs, or some concerns about perceptions, society's perception, concerns that they never had, you know, in their younger years.
We actually had an infrastructure. Yes, David was the cop.
I didn't pick the role.
He was the one that watched out that, you know, bad people didn't do bad things or whatever.
He would, like, if you stayed too long in your tent, then it was time to go, and he kind of kept the order around everything and made sure everybody stayed in line.
Stereotypical hippie, he starts interrogating me. Where'd you come from? Why are you here? How long are you gonna be here? Blah, 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 blah.
That ass, oh my God, he tried to kick me off the beach. And I did.
I arrived with my husband Victor and my 3-year-old daughter Heidi in the summer of 1968, and we had just left Berkeley. Berkeley was at the point of explosion. It was pick up a gun and leave, and we had decided to leave.
I arrived with a guitar and a paint box full of artist paints and a surfboard, and $30 in my pocket.
I came here just on the surf bum hippie scum trail.
Somewhere around May, I got a package in the mail filled with shells and sand and dried up plumerias and a little shirt crocheted and $200 bills. It was $90 round trip. So one $100 bill was for me and one was for Gail, my sister.
Throughout the making of this project, there has been a theme. A lot of people came to Taylor Camp, just like a lot of people come to Hawaii, looking for paradise. Many were leaving very difficult situations, whether it was the war in Vietnam or family problems or running from the law. Taylor Camp had the full spectrum. Even today, that site is probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. Tree houses on the beach, right along the Nepali coast at the end of the road on Kauai. It just doesn't get better than that. It was very healing for a lot of people. But for some, it was a tragedy. It was too much freedom, or it was the expectation that a place could heal them without the inner work. And everywhere, no matter what culture we're in, it seems to be resonating. So we feel that we're going to get a really good reaction.